Everyone has a good story to tell, and you know it is a good story when the person leans in and says, "See, what had happened was," and then tells the story.
This podcast provides those opportunities to tell those types of stories in education. The stories will be from the good, the bad, and everything in between. We wanted to do this podcast to showcase stories in education and to give flowers to educators who deserve recognition for their excellence.
Our guests will feature parents, students, teachers, administrators, and just about anyone who is involved in education. These stories will inspire you, challenge you, and help you to reflect on your practice of education, whether it be from the inside of the classroom or outside.
If you have a good story to tell, we'd love to hear it. Email us at contact@andredowdy.org. We'd love to have you or your story on a future episode. See What Had Happened starts now. Welcome to See What Had Happened. We're your co-hosts, Danielle and Andre Daughty. If this is your first episode tuning in, thanks for dropping by. We've got several episodes for you to laugh and listen to.
Yeah.
You'll also enjoy stories from the good, the bad, and everything in between. If you've been following along and are friends of the podcast, welcome back. You are officially a part of the crew. Today we have a special guest joining in on the fun, Ms. Shanieka Hamlet.
Hey, how you doing? We really appreciate you joining us today. Thank you for hanging out with us here.
Of course. I'm very happy to be here.
Very, very happy to be here. Coming to America, the best movie ever.
Yes.
The way that this podcast works is real simple. We're just going to talk, share some stories, laugh a little, giggle, have some conversation about some of these stories in education. If you follow along with us, you know that we're on all of the podcast sites as well as YouTube. So Shanieka, go ahead and tell everybody a little bit about yourself. Yes. Who are you?
So a little bit about me. I am 31. I am a single mom of a 9-year-old autistic boy. He's amazing. Sweetest person ever. I have been in the school system now for 3 years. I started doing ACEs, which is after school care. And then I did that for 2 years. And then I just hit my year at a public separate school for special needs kids. And I enjoy it. It's really amazing. I love where I'm at. I'm finally at a point where I can like breathe. You know, everybody, well, not everybody, but some people have a job they go to, they hate. They just do it because they need a check. But I actually am finally at a place I like, actually love. And I'm trying to use this school as a stepping stone. As much as I try to run from it, I am happy to say I have accepted the fact that I am trying to go back to school to get my license to be a teacher.
Let's go. Yeah.
It's just so funny how you try to run from stuff and God is like, nope, I got you. So I'm pretty excited about it. I'm ready to be all in.
I love how he's been preparing you already for that thing.
Time.
Yeah.
The whole time.
Like, I don't want to do it. But now you're like, wait a minute. Yeah, I'm really.
Yeah, full circle. Like I've been running, but then it's like, oh, detour. But guess what? You still gonna get right here. It's like the GPS, you reroute, but it's still gonna take you to where you need to be.
Oh, come on, GPS. Hey.
Yes. So there's that. I mean, I love tigers. I'm obsessed.
That makes so much sense right now. Okay. That's connecting some dots for me right now. That is totally connecting some dots. Okay. So the way that this podcast works is we're just going to set up a story and we're going to just have a conversation from that. So is this story someone from you as parent? Is this a story from you as a student going through the school to be a teacher, or a student from when you went through your K through 12 years? Or is this as the educator since you're working in the school district? Set up this story for us real quick.
Coming to the realization that I wanted to be a teacher is coming from both ends, being the parent and being in the school system. You know, when you're just a student, you see some things, but you don't see all of it. You don't see the ins and outs. You don't see the politics. But now, being older, I see the politics. I see why they're rushing to get us back into school, even though, I mean, it's kind of still not safe. I see the reason why certain areas don't have certain things. I see why they fight for one area, but not so much in the other area. So it's like, okay, well, what can I do? How can I impact somebody? How can I change the dynamic and hopefully be infectious in a good way to keep that going?
Yeah. So when I'm curious on that, when did you first see it? Because like you said, oftentimes we as a student, we go through it and we experience it and we're just oblivious to seeing it. So when was a moment that you first saw and you was like, wait a minute, there's a difference here?
I would say I first saw it probably when I was doing the after school care program. The school I was at was 2 schools. I want to say like 2 years ago, maybe even 2.5 years ago. A few of the schools, when we had the tornadoes and all that, they were completely destroyed. And so all of those kids, though I think it was about 3 schools, had to relocate. And so like this certain area had the choice of going to one school over here or either another school. And then, they just paired each school with like 2 options. So the school I was at happened to have a Montessori school with them. And, time went on. I'm like, okay, they got a good system. They're working it out with their current kids and the new school that they had to bring in and adjust. So I'm like, okay, well, if they're talking about rebuilding the schools, it should be no time now, So more time went on. I'm like, okay, like checking. I mean, I know construction takes a while, but what y'all doing? More time passed, and then it came out, oh, we're not rebuilding the schools. And I'm like, huh? If you want to stay, you can stay, but if you don't, at this point, you have to figure it out on your own.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay.
So if the students had to, if the parents had to figure it out on their own where they were going to take their students, they didn't provide any kind of resources or suggestions.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Lee.
Some of them, I know, I can't speak for the other 2 schools, but I know with the school I'm at, those kids had to do, some of them had to do a hub. So they had to like be picked up at one school and then taken from that school to my school. And if they didn't want to do that, then they had to find their transportation. But at the same time, transportation with the buses was still limited. So I'm like, what is somebody going to do? I know for me, I was in a position to be able to take my child to school. He wasn't at that school, but it's like, okay, what if I can't?
Yeah.
If I need transportation, y'all gonna tell me no? I have to figure it out. Like, I don't have the luxury of having, I have a good village here, but I don't have a widespread village of people that can help me because they're already in the school system. So, I mean, they have to be at their own schools and taking their own kids to school.
Yeah.
Nobody has time for my child. And if they are working, they have to be at work way before school starts. From my standpoint, I put it, I step in those shoes. I'm like, okay, if that was me, what would I do? I'm gonna be looking crazy. So it's just seeing the politics of it all. It was kind of sad because it's just like, not kind of sad. It was sad. Y'all really left these parents and kids to like swim on their own, and they don't know how to swim.
Well, that if that's not the perfect rallying cry to say I'm jumping in this game to help this system, yeah. So then it makes me wonder, with you going back to school now and going through that process to become a teacher, how are you like looking at it through that lens now? like that equity lens. I know that's a buzzword, everybody's saying it now, but I'm sure that is like helping you throughout your journey of this teacher program.
I would say looking at it from that perspective would be like, okay, now that we're here, I've established this is what I want to do. I have to go back in, because let me take a few steps back. When I was in school, my junior year in college, I got pregnant. And I was so depressed. I was just like, I did not expect to be a stereotype, single Black mom, struggling, whatever, all the things, right? So I sat out for, well, actually, when I was there, I went my whole time, and then I sat out after I had my son. But while I was there, I failed everything. I failed every class. My GPA was in the trash. You hear me? Trash, dumpster juice. So I sat out for a year. I came back, busted it wide open, made Dean's List twice, graduated, and things were good. But fast forward, now that I'm here wanting to go back, I have to reestablish my GPA. Looking at all of that, it's like, okay, now that I've been here, there, and everywhere, how can I make my classroom different and be that safe haven that I had when I was coming up? How can I get these kids to trust me? And if they're having problems, be like, oh, I know I can call Miss Hamlet, or I know I can come to her classroom, or I know I can do this, and she's not going to judge. But I also have to understand my own child. I can't be so focused on, and not to mean that in a bad way, but I can't be so focused on these kids that I neglect my own and not give him that same respect or attention. So it's a lot, but it's at the same time, I know I want to do it, and I know this is the stepping stone to something greater. So I'm gonna hang on and strap up with my seatbelts and enjoy the ride.
And everything you said right there is literally what every teacher goes through. Being able, especially those who have kids. We've got 2 kids, and Danielle being a second grade teacher, and sometimes me being out on the road, we give of ourselves to so many others. Sometimes we do neglect our kids. I would love to say we've never done that, but there's been some times that we come home and they want to do something, we're just too tired. Or we were like, yeah, let's do it. Absolutely. And then we fall asleep while they want to do it. And then we like, man, we're sorry. We're tired. So trying your best to balance is some days it's impossible to do it. But having that balance, that is key. Here's a question for you. What grade would you like to teach, or what subject, or are you, where's your heart going in this journey of teaching?
There's a vacancy for the CTE position, the work ready teacher position. So I want to do that.
Okay.
And our kids are actually, this school, it's a high school, but as far as them staying 4 years, that's not what they do. They stay, so that a student will come in at 14 and they can stay until they're 22. I'm trying to fill that position.
I love that the program allows, because I'm over here chewing now. You really got me over here chewing. I love that the program says we know that these students need extra special care and help and guidance. Yeah. And we're not going to just kick them to the curb at 17, 18, 19. Like, we're giving you the love. We're giving you the care. We're giving you skills. We're helping them become the adults. So when they get 22, they are highly functioning and full of confidence when they go out into the real big world. Because oftentimes you do see some students where once when they graduate high school, they're lost because high school was the safe place, home was the safe place.
Right.
And now high school is gone, and now that 6 hours, 5, 6, 7 hours of a void, they're lost. And so I love that is your journey you're going on. That's gonna be dope. That's gonna be so dope.
And just to piggyback off of something you said, going into society, the other part of it is I have a part-time job in the grocery store. My grocery store, Harris Teeter, I don't know if y'all have a Harris Teeter or if y'all have Kroger or whatever, but like Kroger, Harris Teeter, Ralph's, all of that's connected. So anyway, our store hires special needs adults. And so you see the baggers and you see the people that are getting the carts and stuff. So it's like I get to see that part of it too. And being in the school, it's like, okay, I can rally for you. Like, I know you know this stuff. And being honest, people see certain adults that are different from them and like, oh, they can't,
Right.
They don't know what they do. They try to take advantage. I've seen it for myself. Again, I work at a grocery store. I had a guy come through my line and use the R word on the bagger that I had.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I completely stopped. I completely stopped him. I was like, if you're gonna come through my line and be disrespectful, I can't help you. Right. I said he's very capable of doing his job, and I said if you can't understand that and get what you need to get and get out, then I don't have nothing. I don't have anything for you. Right. You gotta go. You gotta get out of my line. I'm sorry.
I love that. I love how you are. Like your journey is so dope because everything is aligning up, like literally aligning up.
It really is.
I see you going to school, learning about it, being on the job, experiencing it, and it's like you're almost lined up to be a supervisor because you're already making connections and networks with stores like a Kroger's and things like that, where you're saying they can do the work. Here's the evidence. Here's the portfolio. Here's showing them that they can do the work. And then you can say, I've worked with this person, that person. And then you can say, I'm a teacher because I make sure that they can do these correct job placements. Like that would, it's getting there.
And it's almost like, okay, when you go to school to be a teacher, you're learning about the theory and then putting it into practice. Mm-hmm. But you're the reverse because you have the practice. And now when you go back to school to become a teacher,
you're connecting it to the theory.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, y'all make me feel so good. Thank you.
Yeah, that journey is there. And the journey is going to be tough and rough sometimes. Because sometimes the things that you see it happening and you're like, this is the plan we want it to do. And then that plan may not go that way. Just like you said, GPS. You might be saying we're going to take this highway, and GPS is like, nah, wrong turn. We're going to go this way, but you're still going to that journey.
All right. So looking back at that story, what advice would you give to other teachers, students, or parents if they were in that situation? Or would you have done anything differently?
Students, I would say, keep going. Honestly, keep going. And you hear people say, if I can do it, you can do it. Like, that's real. If I can do it, you can do it. From the parent standpoint, please understand that the teachers are people too. When my son's dad passed in December, she reached out, she cried like she was a part of the family. She was like, I am so sorry. And just seeing that, and she's a white female teacher, just seeing that she didn't forget about, doggone it.
Nope, don't do it. Don't hang in there. Come on, fight it. Yeah, come on.
Just seeing that she was so invested in my little black boy.
Yeah. That's when you know, and that's what I love about teachers. The real, genuine teachers, they see color, they see the student, and they still love the student. Mm-hmm. They don't say, I'm colorblind. Forget that. I see the culture in which you live, and I love you as a teacher to a student, or the family. I love your family like they're my family. I love. Shout out to her, and we haven't even done sprout outs yet. But shout out to her. Shout out her name. What is that teacher's name, real quick?
Crystal Cole of Simpkins Elementary. I love you forever.
Some of the best educators in the world are people you've never heard of. They may not be on TV or get the National Teacher of the Year awards, but we want to give those teachers their flowers today. We know the sacrifice and the heavy lifting these educators go through daily. With that said, we present Sprout Outs. Sprout Outs is sponsored by Pinky and Paws Petals. Owner and founder Shanieka Lewis has always loved flowers as a kid, and after her mom passed, she wanted to design the same flower arrangements she saw at her mom's funeral. She went to design school and learned how to craft and design floral arrangements. From there, the design started at home, and after great feedback, her business has flourished worldwide. Weddings, funerals, special occasions, and more. Pinky and Paws Petals ships artificial designs and delivers local ones in the Denver, Colorado area for now until after COVID. Now it's time for Sprout Out.
Who would you like to sprout out today?
I would like to sprout out two people who have impacted my life and others tremendously. First person is my 7th grade teacher, who is now a principal. Her name is Arlissa Carey Armand. She had us chanting, "I am gifted and talented. I am a high achiever. It's not my altitude, but my aptitude, but my altitude." I am 31. I still remember to this day that chant.
Yeah.
And every kid after her still remembers. And we'll get on Facebook. Y'all remember what Miss Carey said?
Yes.
And I actually reached out to her now. So she's my mentor.
All right.
Very good.
My second shout out is to an amazing guidance counselor, an amazing lover of Christ, an amazing Black magic, beautiful queen of a person. Her name is Lynn L. Douglas. I shout her out because she has touched so many lives. She won her race on March 18th, and she is with her father. And it's just knowing how she lived. It's like, I did the work. I put in the work, and I'm done. Like, I won. So I just want to shout her out. Prayers and condolences to her family. She was a beautiful spirit. She really was. And I just want to make sure she gets that shout out that she deserves.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Give me those two names again. Let's sprout them out one more time.
My sprout outs are Arlissa Carey Armand and Lynn L. Douglas.
Sprout out to them indeed.
Sprout out. Yes. We believe when one wins, we all win. Mm-hmm. Shanieka, how can others follow you on social media? Or is there anything else that you would like to plug?
You can follow me on Twitter at Sing, capital N, Tiger, Singing Tiger. I forgot because I love to sing.
She sings.
And also, actually, that's Twitter and Instagram, Singing Tiger.
If you have a story you'd like to share, just like Shanieka, all you have to do is email us, contact@andredoughty.org. We'd love to hear your story. If you are shy and you don't want to be on that camera, it's cool. Still give us the story at that same email, contact@andredoughty.org.
We will spill the tea.
Absolutely.
For you.
We'll read it, we'll laugh, we'll analyze it, we'll talk about it. When one wins, we all win, and we want you to win as well. Well, we're at the end of this episode. Special thanks to Shanieka today. We truly appreciate you hanging out with us.
So much.
And there's some other episodes. If you've never seen this show before, we've got some other episodes. Once again, we're on all the podcast places, and we are on YouTube if you prefer to watch it. Connect with us those ways. We're right here with you. Join us on that journey. Don't forget to join us on the next time of See What Had Happened.
This podcast is a proud member of the Teach Better Podcast Network. Better today, better tomorrow, and the podcast to get you there. You can find out more at teachbetter.com/podcast.